Welcome to Gaia's Love, a podcast of brief messages to help humanity bridge the gap to the new earth. My name is Vivienne Gerard. It is my delight to be a scribe for consciousness today, sharing the wisdom that flows through from Source. Here we go. Episode 275. It is Tuesday. Here in Cincinnati, it's going to be 90-something degrees today. It's hot for October. It is really hot. Everything is dry. There hasn't been rain in a little bit. So, yeah, it's an unusual fall season. And I have this topic that I've been pondering all morning. So we'll see what comes through as we tune into it together. I've been working on creating this beautiful offering with my friend Andrea Henkels, and she does virtual acupuncture sessions, which are these beautiful energy healings. And so we decided we would create a new way to do that. And so before bedtime here in Eastern time zone, every other Wednesday, we're going to get on a group phone call, and then I'll do a short guided meditation, and then she will do this virtual healing, and everyone can lay in their bed. And then you just fall asleep because all the energy is moving and it feels so good. And so I've been spending a lot of time putting all the details together. We start it next week on Wednesday. And so we're, massaging all the stuff that needs to happen in order to share something new with our tribes. But we are calling it quietly listening. And that phrase has been really sitting within me, and I've been pondering what that means to quietly listen. And in the description I say, when you're in this sweet space energetically where your mind, your body, your spirit are absolutely harmonious and calm and relaxed, you can listen internally. There's a way to pull all of your energy in and to feel whispers from your soul, from Source, from God, from consciousness. It's a different way to receive information, to receive guidance, to get clarity on how you move forward in your life. And so the title, Quietly Listening, just feels so perfect, so true, so in alignment. And so I was reflecting as I was running this morning. I was reflecting and coughing and clearing my throat chakra. As we talk about listening, the ears are part of the throat chakra. So as I listen more, then there's all this that needs to be released. But as I was running, I was thinking about what I shared yesterday about the sweat lodge and sweating. And, when we're in that space, how our body is so stressed or pushed to its limit that the senses are heightened, other senses are heightened. And in that space, it's dark, you can't see anything. So you're not able to read verbal or read nonverbal cues from people because you can't see them. You can't see anything. And all you can feel is your heart racing. And so the hearing is activated and it's more precise, and you can tell exactly where the voice is coming from. You can start to recognize the quality of the voice in the sound of it, even though you don't know the person. You can sort of place who's where and what their energy must feel like for the words that are coming out of them to be shared. For me, that space is very familiar. I spend a lot of time in meditation and creation, and my eyes are closed for that. So I'm used to my other senses being turned up as my eyesight is closed. But I'm often by myself when I'm doing that kind of work. I do some in-person work with my eyes closed, but most of it is me in my space creating like I am in this moment. And so I'm not used to hearing other people's voices when I'm listening in the way that I do right now. In this moment, I am listening internally, and I'm guided of which word I want to say. So there's no other voices interfering with that. It's just me and my voice and my flow of energy. In that black space of the sweat lodge, I was hearing what others were saying and also having my own internal experience where I was listening to my own guidance about what needed to shift or adjust in me to make it through the time together. And so when I was running today, I was just contemplating hearing versus listening, internal versus external. And when I went to look up the definitions to see, maybe I just don't understand the two words. Maybe there's something I've missed in this English language, that's really clear what the separation is between the two of them, and I just don't understand it. But the definitions are just as overlapping and kind of unclear. So I thought for myself, I would redefine it and then see how that redefinition works for me. So here's what I'm proposing for myself, and then perhaps you can play with it for yourself and then let me know how it resonates or how it works as you practice. I'm claiming that listening is an internal thing, that when I use the word listen, I am listening to my own judgment, my own internal voice, my soul, consciousness, source, and then Gaia, earth, or nature. I listen to the sounds of the wind. I mean, I know I hear them, but it's like they're part of me. They don't feel separate. I listen to the birds singing, but it's like they're singing my voice in a way. Like it feels very much a part of who I am when I'm listening. So I'm going to start using the word in that way for myself and kind of see how it feels, because why not? Why not play with words, And then the hearing, what feels true to me about hearing is it's a way to receive the information verbally from somebody else without putting my own stuff in the way. Because when we listen to someone speaking, it's like the sounds come in the ear and blah, 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 blah. But often we're creating our own argument or response back so that we can be prepared to give them the information they need from us, even if they didn't want it. We're prepared to tell them what we've been thinking while they've been talking. And so I don't feel like that's really hearing. Hearing to me is feeling what that person means and understanding why they would want to choose to share that with me, or what it is that's happening in their life that makes them contemplate the things they're contemplating, and to receive that sharing of their story, their journey, whatever it is they're talking about with me, to receive it as wisdom that they're giving to me, so I should hold it as like precious, as something that they're opening up to, and not dismiss it or not override it with what my thoughts and experiences are. So hearing feels like it has more space. It's between two people. That feel my throat. Hearing is between people, humans. And my dog just sighed. He's like, what about the animals? I don't know. I haven't figured the animals out. I'm still working on the animals. I don't have an answer for that one. I'm much better with humans. Oh, that's so funny. So hearing feels like it's between people, and there's space so that when someone shares their words, which really is their energy, their heart, their experiences, when they share that, there's space for me to receive it and to be with it without having a response ready to throw back at them. Yeah, and our lives are very busy and fast-paced, and so I don't know that we make time to hear. I feel like we listen, but we don't really make time to hear and then reflect back what we've heard. I remember years ago when I was going through therapy around my divorce, and I was working with this beautiful woman, and she was coaching me constantly on, here's what I hear you saying. Is that what you meant to say? I'm like, no, how'd you get that? What, are you crazy? I didn't say that. She's like, well, those are the words that you used. And just the way she kept reflecting back to me how I was speaking, I realized I wasn't at all sharing what I thought I was sharing. And her reflections to me were so valuable because she didn't have an agenda. I mean, she was being paid to sit and listen and reflect back, but she did her job beautifully. And in those reflections, I was able to learn more about myself. To me, that's hearing. And I know when lives are busy and everyone's got a million things on their plate, that takes conscious time and making that person a priority to be able to not rush through what they're sharing with us. So yeah, as I say that, I'm preparing to go to one of my new luncheon loves, which are so much fun. And that's really the intention I have, is that we can spend an hour at lunch and hear what the other person wants to share. And maybe that means we have less chatter, or people actually get a turn to talk and no one's talking over them. And then we can just pause and receive what the person says. But it's such a gift to be heard in that way. It's so precious. At the New Moon Circle last week, that was a lot of what I was offering to the people who were there. This is an opportunity for you to actually be heard in whatever it is you want to share with us. So feel safe in sharing and know you will be witnessed and heard for whatever that is. And so many of them said that, they're like, it feels so good to be heard. Nobody's hearing us. And I believe that. I believe our lives have made it more complicated, and perhaps it's simply our choice to uncomplicate it and start hearing more. So yeah, I'm just going to play with those definitions and see how they feel, and maybe I'll redefine them again. I'm open to other interpretations if you have different explanations for hearing versus listening, but it's kind of a fun thing to play with today. All right, I'm off to lunch. Have a beautiful day, everyone. Thank you for tuning into this vibration of pure love. I invite you to join me in aligning with the optimal health of your mind, body, spirit in the virtual community of Viv's Energy Gym. You can learn more at mysouljourney.com. Let's take this message of Gaia's love out into all of our relationships and communities today. So much love from my heart to yours.